with that early advantage, how well can they close out the game?
Let's find out as the teams enter the field of battle, and so do we. EG and P, game 3, fight! This should be good.
Oh yeah. Curious to see if there's going to be any little lane swaps or anything cute happening. Does look like Fata will be playing a mid bristle with Envy actually headed down bottom. So seen this a bit where Envy, one of the carry players who heads towards that off lane more often than other players do. And a Pylai Die support Batrider again.
Last time, I want to say, it didn't really work out well. They actually won that game convincingly, but it was not because of the Batrider. He did almost nothing the entire game. By the time he started to come online, the game had been won by the other 4 heroes. So I'm curious to see if it goes differently this time, but he took so long to farm.
Yeah, we'll see how well he can help the lanes. It does look like they may need all 3 heroes down bottom to make this hero work.
We used to see like aggressive Batrider dual lanes at times with, you know, say an Undying or potentially even Night Stalker. Is that something you even consider nowadays, or it's just like better off in the jungle?
Huh. Imagine we may be seeing that. I mean, right now the lanes look like EG just want to 1v1 the Void against the Night Stalker, or NP perhaps are the ones wanting this 1v1 matchup. And it's going to be tri-lane versus tri-lane bottom if Zai heads that direction, which perhaps will not be the case. He's actually headed up top to give EG an advantage in this top lane, or at least lingering around this top area. Sumail looking to win the mid block. Actually used an orb from the bounty rune just to get back a little bit faster. Any little small advantage you can get in this mid lane can go a long way.
Frees up your support to move around a bit earlier. So try action could be brewing.
Yep,
looks that way for bottom with the old Undy headed that way. Undying used to be known as like one of the few kings of tri-lane on tri-lane action, especially where there's a heavy dose of melee, but they do have the Luna and the Batrider here, so a little bit more range. It'll be a bit slow on the actual distance they can attack from.
Luna aggro trail lane's always been very strong and scary with her damage output for all 3 heroes, but
tough against the Razor though.
Yeah.
You do have the good move speed, but you also have to be very close to hit creeps, and that's where TZ can look to punish.
Speaking of tri-lane specialists, Undying. You don't want to get near this guy in a 3v3 lane. If he gets multiple heroes in a decay, that's where lane can quickly swing against you.
So for now, no sign of kills, but certainly going to be a lot of blows traded here. Our other 2 lanes, Sumail dueling it out with Vana, getting some good chip damage in early. Obviously gets harder to bring the Bristle back down later, but pretty even farm trade so far, though. He seems to have the regen advantage, at least for now.
Yeah, Sumail went for the starting item as a magic wand, and then is going to bring out his Null Talisman to complete that one. And he's
might actually make a move here. Now Vanda's going to back away.
So Fata used up all his mana to spam Quills early on. Doesn't care that he's giving Sumail magic wand charges as long as he's getting CS, which is very much the case. But AUI in the neighborhood, going to see if they can get a kill now. Fata with the extra mana
could be big. That bottle delivery might make the difference. AUI not able to interrupt that retreat. So Sumail plays it right, gets back to safety. And the 2-minute rune will spawn. Looks like NP has position to grab it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, that Luna could be in danger. She's being pursued pretty heavily by EG. Do they want a full commit for this? Not quite. But as soon as they see that rotation mid, EG know they can press the attack bottom.
Yeah, I feel like this lane set for EG is looking all in all quite all right. Void is not doing great in his 1v1 matchup against the Night Stalker.
Is this a lane Universe should be doing better in? It has been a true 1v1 until recently. Used to be, or sorry, I mean for the Void, because usually like Void dominates these 1v1s against most melees.
Night Stalker perhaps not in that group. Night Stalker has better armor and ever so slightly better base damage, so has a bit of an edge in any kind of a right-click trade.
They're going to make a move on Pylai Die, starting to burn, crit, moving in for that follow-up damage. Zai's going to commit for this. Could be the first blood for EG. Not quite enough damage, but the pressure is certainly there. Will be salved up. Yeah, resetting.
We're seeing this level 1 Batrider just run around, throw napalms, but not necessarily be all too effective. There's definitely a support that will scale well, and NP I think are eyeing off more the late game as well as like the initiation factor with this hero. But early game wise, Pylai Die just being a minor nuisance for EG's lanes.
The one thing that stands out to me is that Envy is not really farming much, Gods. 5 and 3 on CS, 16 and 11 for RTZ. Doesn't feel like the tri-lane is accomplishing its goals. If they go aggro and they're getting out-farmed, they're not stacking in the jungle during this time. Should they be making an adjustment here? Do they want to consider sending, say, the Night Stalker bottom?
I think at this point, you want to wait for nighttime. That could be a decision they make at that night with like early phase boots. Perhaps around, maybe a little after night, like around 5.5, 6 minutes is when MSS will likely finish those. So could be a good time for him to make that move.
Well, I die, duking it out for this bounty rune, but Zai quicker with the fingers will secure it. So.
Yep. And Fata gets the mid one, so refills his bottle with an Invis rune, making his resilience in this mid lane pretty good. But CS-wise, Puck 13 denies and leading the CS battle.
Sumail does not lose mid very often, and yet another game where he dominates.
Yep. I mean,
and that's even, he's had less help. There's been a little more pressure with those rotations. MSS trying to mix things up. They did make that rotation. Luna going to TP out. That's towards top. And now, as the Wolf has just recently queued to start nighttime, I guess we'll find out if Night Stalker actually makes some aggressive moves. For now in the jungle, though.
Once again, it is level 5, it looks like. Doesn't look like he'll be able to finish his phase boots, but level 5 is going to be a decent upgrade in his damage output in these ganks. Doesn't even finish the camp. Hits level 5. We'll go for a shrine here, perhaps.
Oh, EG want to keep on contesting this Luna. It looks like they bring the Undying towards top. TP's in now, rotating to the jungle, at least for the moment. But they seem to be mirroring Envy's movements around the map a bit.
Not sure how easily they can kill this Razor at bottom, even with the Night Stalker rotating in and shrining up. It's pretty hard to gank, and the Phoenix as well has died, so neither of these heroes easy kills. EG at bottom.
Highlight Die taking quite a bit of damage and also giving a lot up. Arteezy commits for it, and it is first blood to the Razor. Now looking for more with the coil in the mid lane. They are going to break the coil here. That costs Owie his life, and maybe Fata too. EG dogpiling in a third arrival as Universe sounds the horn. He wants to go for more. A single bash will definitely kill up Fata. Maybe even without it, he'll get the job done. Has the move speed, gets the damage, secures the kill. Zai low, but not dead yet. MSS will clean him up. Can he find more? Had to chew through one of those mangoes from earlier. Doesn't have the mana to chase the Undying down, so still EG coming out on top there, make it 3-1 around the map.
They do get the Sumail Puck, which was a kill that he got a bit greedy going back in, and Night Stalker gets an easy killing blow with an extra Void thrown out, but regen rune not picked up by Zai, stood next to it, perhaps not watching, as he's now going to get chased down by the Napalm.
Zai is not looking too hot right now, guys, or perhaps a bit too hot with the Batrider roasting him. And Mibe crit in trouble too. He's going to go down to the Batrider. NP finding their footing here and chasing forward for more. They charge onto Zai, but the damage from Arteezy, you've got to respect it. Able to bring him down, combines with the decay. And Pylai Die falls again. So a similar start for the Batrider, a different style of laning with the tri-lane, but 1-0 in CS. I mean, even worse in some ways. He's going to have a tough time crawling back after this beginning.
Yeah. This MSS Night Stalker has been very effective during this first nighttime, finding a couple of kills, creating some space, but the big picture is still not looking for NP, looking good for NP in this early game. Level 6 up on the Void, so they've now got a Chronosphere at their disposal. They have a lot of good tools to start making moves to respond to NP's aggression, something that they're definitely showcasing here during the night phase, but with night ending soon, NP may have to fall back to a more passive farming state.
And that's the thing, I look at NP, I see 3 melee heroes, 2 very short-ranged heroes, so you can argue like 4 to 5 melee heroes in practice in fights up against massive AoE, hard anti-melee counters with the Puck Coil, the Egg, especially even the Fire Spirits, as well as the Chrono. NP could quickly self-destruct if they are not careful, and EG are primed to ignite that type of self-destruction. They make their move. And we'll see Pi trying to steal a little bit of jungle farm, but he might get punished. Coil's there. Orb 2, and you ain't farming here, Bubba.
Pi is not looking comfortable on this Batrider. That play there, like he stacks napalms onto a medium camp to then pull a wave to it. bottom lane when he gave up the first blood, he was trying to stop like a side pull happening from the EG side, and he just pays for it by overstepping where he should be. So
I mean, he's a aggressive tri-lane 4 or 5 position bat rider. Who does look comfortable in that position, you know?
he may have played this hero in the tournament, but as you kind of said, it wasn't like a fantastic showing from him then, and we're seeing again the bat rider's place in this early game not really all that known. He's just level 2.5. He's really struggling to offer anything to NP right now.
MSS will come to the top lane. Looks like the Undying's probably in trouble. Universe, though, thinking about potential Chrono opportunity, but good spread by NP. Still TP in from one of your big cores, one of the 2 heroes that's actually had a good start, and EG just walk away. When Sumail rotates, it's a kill. So NP not matching what EG have brought to the table here early.
Sumail's start is phenomenal. 62 last hits, 22 denies. Almost matched by Arteezy's Razor, and the kill involvement has been there as well. Involved in 3 of his team's kills.
Well, Nightstalker may be undefeated at this event, but pretty much every one of those games he did a lot more early, so I'm not sure that's a stat that will prove relevant.
I mean, I've liked what MSS has done. I feel like the first nighttime he did actually get a lot. It's more the other heroes and lanes which I think have been not all too effective. Like the Bat Rider, the Nyx. I feel like these heroes have been very quiet this game, whereas MSS is doing what he can to salvage some silly kills that NP have given up.
Right, it's more like you have 2 kills. It's not a Nightstalker game right now. Not to say it's his fault, but this is not the tempo you want if you're NP.
We're going to lose a tower now. This is normally what NP are doing to their opposition, taking these early towers, winning the early game. And
actually, I want to say, I don't know that I've seen a single game this event where NP hasn't gotten the first tower. Maybe 1 versus OG, but that's it. Like, even when they lose, they usually get the first tower.
This is
very concerning.
Different position. And even Arteezy's a player that's had his lane contested a lot. We haven't seen him actually have many easy 1 lanes, but very different story here in game number 3 as he is dominating bottom, going straight into a blade mail. Perhaps an answer to the Bristleback somewhat, but definitely an answer to the Luna Eclipse early on.
Moving in, under cover of smoke, they make the move and they drop the bubble, and again, it's on to Pylite Die. Oh boy. Bat Rider is not looking so hot.
Yeah. I mean, it's partly the hero, but I think also, I mean, it's definitely an unconventional hero to play in a 5-position support role, I guess, with Pilot Eye, we want to call it. He had boots first with AUI buying items, but I think we're going to see AUI get more farm, get his level 6 arcane boots and all that. But yeah, Pi continues to struggle, and EG continue to punish and take advantage, getting a lot of towers up on the map.
SS putting the screws onto that Phoenix will force him to Icarus dive away. The thing is, Gods, with a really poor Bat Rider, no blink in sight, it's tough to kill EG because they have so many tools to disengage here. You have the Orb, the Jaunt, the Time Walk Out, the Icarus dive back, 2 tanky heroes in the Razor and the Undying. Without that lockdown, you're very reliant on AUI to set up any kind of kill opportunity. And the Nightstalker can start the fight, but alone he will not finish it. We've seen that already, though. When he TPs, heroes can run away if it's just him. So it's really putting them in a bind that this Bat Rider's having such a bad start. NP look to change it up. They do move through the Radiant Woods now, swinging back to probably one of the more killable targets. The Phoenix, though, he does have the egg now.
Yep.
Got to be careful about how they approach it. Nightstalker swoops in from a buzz. Very well played by Mojo. That will secure a kill at long last. NP get a clean takedown. Though, as I say that, EG are coming in. They might fight this. Even Arteezy's looking to join. The TP from the puck, it'll be all 4 here. And the Coil as well. NB quickly feeds one away. So in the end, a win for EG and looking for more with MSS on the run. But even at nighttime, Arteezy staying locked on him, stealing all kinds of damage. He will flap away to safety, but a Luna for a Phoenix is not a good trade.
No, you see how difficult it is to even kill a hero like a Phoenix. They have to get Nightstalker flying over trees with a silence. Initially, the smoke was headed towards bottom, but I believe with Arteezy just picking up the blade mail, Envy makes a call like, let's not go for this kill, it's too difficult.
A lot of TPs in mid. He may have underestimated EG's willingness to fight. They do charge onto him. As Pi TP's in, he dies.
Oh my.
Feeling like EG's 6th man almost with how much he's been giving them this game.
Yeah. This early blade mail prevents so many of these rotations. If you smoke gank bottom with an Eclipse to kill Envy, to kill Arteezy, Envy's just going to die himself. He'll pop a blade mail and return the damage, and a lot of health early on this Razor means he is not a good target to go for. Universe is ready with another Chrono. Envy
is going to drop it now. The Sunray combines. They also have an egg if they need it. Zai laying in. Envy pretty durable. They're not getting that many bashes, but a timely one from Universe on perhaps his signature hero. Clips will turn it though. Envy, patient, will get a kill, tanks 2 ults, and lives. Ooh. That is the kind of clean win that MP need more of if they want to turn this game around. Now chasing on the crit. MSS though has to do with Universe. Also wants to try for the tower deny. Universe though gets the last hit. UI finally able to get involved with the Vendetta. Going for the stun. He hesitates. Oh, no. He swings. He misses. Oh, they needed that.
That would have been a fantastic kill, but it's mid lane where Fata goes down. Arteezy and Sumail.
Oh, Jesus. NP cannot catch a break, gods. I mean, to be fair, mostly on them, but it hurts. Maybe finally an opening. Universe, Silence gonna wear off soon. MSS, can he come off? No, the creep!
Got another void. He can still chase this one,
chasing,
but he's not going to.
Oh, even the creeps will cooperate. NP, the gods frown on you today.
Wow, and additional towers. The final tier 1 tower on NP's side gonna be claimed. Arteezy has another 1,700 gold already. Boy, do things look bad for NP right now. That was a fumbled EG gank up top. They didn't think they needed the egg. By the time Crit uses it, it was like, well, the chrono's over. That was a bit of a wasted egg. He should have used it during the chrono if it was going to. And the end result was still EG favored as they...
Uh-oh. Oh? AUI. Oh, we'll be scouted by the sentry, but he's okay.
Arteezy.
They are going to try maybe first. Is this a smoke or there might be an ancient stack? Yeah, well, not even.
Stack?
Just
no,
a regular.
Even, yeah.
That's the thing. They have not been like doing much economy-wise, gods. They've been scrambling so much early that, you know, normally there's a big stack there for the bristleback of Envy or Fata in this case to clean up, but not the case this game.
We're going to have to play a slower, more late game-oriented game, something we haven't seen from NP at all really at this tournament, but they are the ones on the back foot.
Looking for the takedown here on Zai. Are there EGTPs? Nobody coming yet. Zai's like, team, please help me.
Not now. No help. But it's Envy at mid, getting ganked by the Sumail puck. Blink, Veil, and another 1,200 gold. We're 15 minutes in, and this puck has 7.2k net worth. The much bigger kill happening on the map.
Doubling up Envy. And and even the Batrider's done little but farm this game, also getting more than double.
Yeah. That's the thing with this support Batrider is he's taken up a lot of farm, not being able to create space for the team, and while he is going to be on an okay track to get not a terrible blink timing, the cost has been Envy's farm.
NP looked so damn good to start this series. Game 2 even felt like it was theirs for the taking. It slipped away, and now Game 3 might be as well with EG balling forward onto this Tier 2. No defense being mounted, and the worry here for NP gods is without big items on the Batrider, without any real significant AoE, the only team fight to speak of in Eclipse, you might get high ground early. There's a Razor to Siege. There's a lot of opportunity for EG to find pickoffs. We'll see AUI try to fight with Sumail here, but he is far away from home.
Oh!
And far away from the server, in fact. I think that might have affected them, too. Either that or they're lacking the sense of urgency that you need in a Game 3, but hopefully they get back in.
Yeah, AUI has a TP available, but the burst damage from Puck there may just be enough to bring him down. Bit of a unfortunate timing. Gives NP some time to compose themselves, discuss how they want to deal with this bad early game.
You know, it's funny with the way the game's been going, you'd expect them to be all solemn and no smiles, but they're the ones, you know, who seem relaxed relatively. AUI had a little smirk on his face. EG are the serious, intense ones.
EG, I think, know that they're ahead, but still have work to do. This game, while the early game has been won, we've seen comeback at plenty at this tournament.
Is this a comeback line?
Luna, definitely always going to scale well into the late game if you can get the farm. And I think the question that MP have to be asking is, what do we do to get MP back in this game?
He can be solo killed by Puck already, so that is certainly a concern. This is a real test for NP. If they can come back and win this game, then honestly, I think they can win the grand finals. Like, maybe even convincingly over NP. This has to be one of the worst starts I have seen on this patch for for any team. And they drafted the lineup that kind of needs to be leading, if anything. So I don't know that there could be a taller mountain for them to have to climb. And it's against EG of all teams.
Yeah. Luna's the kind of hero that, yeah, you can flash farm pretty quickly and catch up with. The reality is, yeah, there's not going to be a whole lot of space for that. Anywhere you go, you can get solo killed by the puck you mentioned. The Razor can cause you problems. There's a lot of heroes this game which are going to make it very difficult for MB to catch himself back up into this game. AUI and the Knicks has to start making a lot of space, finding some kills. Him and the Night Stalker are kind of the two big playmakers that have really been crucial for this team, and that's exactly what they got to do at this stage.
The lights come on, at least for a moment. EG, with a comfortable advantage. Impressive comeback by them so far.
And when you get ahead early and you've got the big team fight lineup, it's very easy to take towers and objectives. You know that your opposing team is unlikely to actually try and stop you, because if they come, you're like, great, we get a chance to use Corona, we get a chance to use Egg, we get to use all these big spells, and that's where NP will probably just have to give up objectives and focus more on the solo kickoff. See what Nyx and Night Stalker can find. Try and use these smokes. Get Batrider or Blink Dagger even if possible. They need to find some other option.
So it looks like we do have players rejoining the game. Still waiting on two. I think one of the MP players may have stepped out just for a moment here. Fingers crossed we get resumed relatively soon. The last time we had a pause, NP seemed to come together a little bit.
You know, teams with NP, they always have their fair share of pauses.
NP needs pause. Yeah. It worked for them earlier in the tournament. It worked for them today. Earlier, maybe it worked for them now.
Historically, he's a man who will take his pauses, warm up his hands,
and NP did not take advantage of the moment, though. I don't know if that's the killer instinct you need. You should be getting that hot water while you can.
He's got some hand warmers under the desk, maybe.
It's funny because you know he walks around wearing shorts usually, so you think he's getting cold.
It looks like players are reconnecting to the game, and we should be getting back underway fairly soon with our Game 3 decider here. Winner to face Newbie in the grand finals. Right now, it's looking good for EG, although it's not decided. Far from it.
Who would you rather face in your Newbie? Do you care? Do you think there's a matchup problem, or a special edge they'll have either way?
I mean, so before the winner bracket final here, I want to say DAC, Newbie always would lose to EG, but they broke that kind of EG curse.
And they did convincingly. They crushed them 2-0.
So I think they're okay with EG. EG plays at the slower pace, and Newbie like that. They like their team fight drafts themselves.
All right, Game 3. We're back into it now. Let's see what's happening. AUI is dead. That's what's happening. Just in case you didn't see. The X marks the spot. Apparently there's a Conka in this game. Maybe that's how EG are dominating. They've got a sixth man actually in the game, and no, I don't mean the Batrider.
We'll see Arteezy go straight into an Axe. He's already thinking about high ground pushing.
I think they can high ground really early against MC, honestly. And they probably should before the bat gets, Blink Force, some extra items. I like that idea from EG. They have great team fight, they have potential to go late, but you are far enough ahead. I don't think you need to worry about it right now.
Taking 4 towers at 17 minutes. Starting to get some of the Solar Crest is going to come from the Undying, it looks like. Arteezy had that queued up earlier, but we'll have a very dominant early game for EG, and these support items will get picked up very quickly if you can take a few more towers. That's where Phoenix, Undying will get these items.
This could be big. Hey, Arteezy, how you doing, buddy? NP, find one, and they look for more. EG is the pause the solution. NP now chasing on. They've also got the Solar Crest and Fada. They will try to lock down this puck potentially, but he's an elusive customer. Throwing out the Urn, MSS gives pursuit, but he'll get foiled for his trouble. Didn't manage to get off the silence there. So Sumail makes it away. It's only the Razor. It's still big, but is it enough?
Something, and that's all you're gonna work with. Whatever small somethings you can get in a game like this if you're in NP shoes. Good execution, making sure they didn't give Arteezy a chance to use his Blade Mail there. The Eclipse timed up with the Impale stun, and Arteezy had no way to dish out any damage in return.
Well, they are farming their way somewhat back into the game here. You can see, as much as Pilot Die has died, he's still well ahead of the Radiant supports in terms of farm, and their cores aren't horribly far behind either. So NP clinging on despite what had to have been one of the most tilting starts they've ever had.
The fact that NB gets that kill is a big win as well for NP. Gives them a good chunk of goals. This is going to be the Master Bandit, so I was thinking this will be the item. He just wants whatever cheap, cost-effective farming again. It's pretty good for fighting too. Once you throw your ultimate, you can just Master Madness and dish out maximum right-click damage. You expose yourself a little bit to the physical damage, but still looking at the draft, that outside of the Razor is much more magic-oriented from the EG side.
EG looks like going back for a Midas on the Phoenix, and I'm not sure, is Universe getting a Battle Fury here potentially? Is this
Had the Shadow Blade queued up, so he wants the
Silver
pick-up
Edge versus the Bristle.
Oh yeah, of course, actually, that's absolutely right.
So I was going to say, oh, maybe they're trying to take this quite a bit later, but yeah, Silver Edge would not necessarily suggest that at all.
Filling the role of what like a Blink Dagger does, but enables you to roam around a bit more looking for those Chrono pickoffs. And we'll see how that works. And then, of course, later on the Silver Edge. It looks like he does have Ags skewed up before the Silver Edge upgrade, though. At this point, the Bristle has not proven to be all too scary.
Universe wants all the items. Oh, this could be big, though. AUI going to stop that particular courier in its tracks and get his team some desperately needed gold. And actually, look at that. Only a 1,300. Okay, with the tower falling, 2,300 gold discrepancy. It's pretty minimal, guys. Yeah. Tempo-wise, it felt like it was just all over for NP, but they're keeping it close.
They had like a 5k plus gold lead if you go back a couple of minutes, so I think
that one kill on Arteezy was actually huge.
Yeah, it gave him a lot of momentum. A courier snipe here, and now things are looking a whole lot better. Really good play from AUI, knowing that where the trajectory of the courier is going to be based on the push, so he just kind of positions himself in the jungle, hunting for it around his observer wards, and yeah.
It's interesting to see also the way Pi is playing this. He's died repeatedly farming the enemy wards, and he just doesn't stop. He goes right back to their Ancients, right back to the big camps, and you know, some of those Ancients pretty easily farmed as well with the Firefly, and he's managed to make the most of it. So it seems like the economy game might be what pulls NP right back in, despite EG having this massive team fight. They're starting to rat it out a little bit, and EG is not finding those 5-man opportunities as often as they would like.
Pi even keeping away from the Universe rotation in, couldn't quite find him with the Chronosphere. EG have definitely slowed down. This gold lead is just being
evaporating, really.
The farming efficiency of some of these heroes like Batrider is really being showcased. The Bristle as well being able to farm stacks, the Luna with the Mask of Madness. You can't keep up if you're EG right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Are the scientists baffled, or NP actually the mad scientists?
EG want to force some towers, force some fights. They've got the Ags on Arteezy. Enough's enough, they say. Objectives is going to get us some gold, but they are trading towers for now.
All right, well, NP farming well, but are they ready to fight yet? EG are going to test that question. They take down the tier 2. They will have to await the cooldown of the Razor ult should they wish to go high ground. Now committing to the Shadow Blade, so this could punish the split push. Another tool to catch heroes out.
Yep, they need to start finding picks. If you can't be trading farm with a team that seems to be farming faster, and also the towers are being traded as well. Bristleback got the tier 2 bottom while you took the tier 2 mid, so EG is not gaining right now.
He's going to find crit here. That is not a kill he wants to go for, especially with the Void lurking.
Very interesting to see the Maelstrom pickup from MSS with how well he farmed in the early game. He's opting for more of a carry build.
And there's no illusions here, Mighty Means. As the Lasso debut comes, maybe Pi? No, he's in trouble now. Chrono gets dropped. Crit is going to let out his hate, unleashes the rage in the form of a Sun Ray, and secures the kill. So, well, Pylite Die will go down, but at least he forces out the Chrono for it.
Going straight BKB, no
It is all little space created, and you know, it's interesting to see MSS go with the Maelstrom, like you said, going for carry build. Also maybe just going for more split push as well, with no illusion hero in the game. You know, this is purely about killing creeps, not trying to prevent EG from ratting you out.
It's going to be a game where everyone, it looks like on NP's side, is going BKBs.
Zai is low in the pit, meanwhile.
Very low.
Very, very, very low. And so the Tombstone will be fed as well. Oh, will he get mad? Oh, Zai. Playing with fire.
Zai's going to get out.
And that
crit's also low.
And that might mean they're in trouble with no Chrono and no Undying.
Envy has an Eclipse.
From behind, he coming, but no Envy. Not able to get the damage. The egg is going to prevent it. Sumail juking him out. Now dropping the coil. Might have to follow up. Throws out the nuke. No Envy. He went for the huge flank, but he comes up just a wee bit short.
bold from him, but didn't have any way of stopping Crit using the Supernova,
Radiant's
and
middle tower is
EG
under
just
attack.
scattered. Sumail taking some of the Eclipse, but knowing that he can always survive through it and just keep Envy in
Between
place.
the egg and the phase shift, I think most of the beams didn't even hit Envy, unfortunately. So now the delicate dance around the pit continues, but this is going to buy time for Chrono to cool down.
We're still back to 0. We're almost back to 0 now in terms of net worth difference, though. EG here.
And NP have that mobility. They're going to, kind of poke around, maybe just start farming some camps near the pit.
Yeah.
Bristle seems to be, or sorry, Nightstalker seems to be doing just that.
That's what this Maelstrom build gives you. It's one of the probably best farming items to get on a Nightstalker, if not the best. And
Yeah, you have such good attack speed, especially with Hunter of the Night, that quickly will pay for itself. Don't count NP out just yet, but EG are going to try to force them to come and play. Working on the Roche. It's relatively slow going, but they're also not losing a whole lot of health with these constant bashes. Zai going to lend an assist. With the goal.
EG are playing the objective game. Take towers, take Roshan, forget about farm. Arteezy, who was miles ahead of the Luna, is almost equal with the Luna once MB farms a bit more in this bottom lane, but EG are trying to put themselves in a position to take an early lane of Rax. They are actually likely to try and break high ground with this Aegis because they've got the Aghanim Scepter on Razor.
I mean, you look at that EG lineup, it actually does go quite late if they itemize that way. You know, multiple Midases, Void can go for the hard carry build, Razor can get that Aghanim's refresher, or maybe even the Fada, like more right-click oriented style, but they have not gone that way with items, God. So to your point, they really do want to be pushing, and pushing soon.
Yeah, just the one Midas saying. Still, you want to press NP back, but at the same time, like, they can still somewhat prepare for that late game. Like, as you mentioned, all these heroes that will ultimately scale, but you want to make sure you're not giving NP too much room. And the lines were being drawn. As soon as they took that Roche, Crit drew lines through all 3 lanes, push out all of these lanes, find a way to get these lane equilibrium in a better place so we can force some fights or take a lane around.
Twilight Die closing in on Sumail. He is going to find the lasso. Nightstalker's coming in. Will he have the damage alone to get the job done? Flying over the trees. Puck. Phase shift, prepare for the blink. Now the retreat, orbing as well. On the way, he drops the quota, hits MSS. The great escape begins. Sumail looks to turn. He wants to punish Pi. The sun ray lights the path. Pi roasting the crit and will drop. Sumail has done it again.
Sumail, the magician, knows that Nightstalker's coming in, ready to silence him. After that Yules, he loses his defensive powers and he just coils the Nightstalker and focuses down the back. Great individual play. We saw it last game. We're seeing it again. And NP need to be careful about how they approach some of these ganks. No Batrider Blink. I'm still very kind of just straight baffled by this build. Yeah, I mean, it's not definitely a great item and a needed item against this CG draft. They're going for BKBs on 4 heroes right now, I believe. Everyone except for Nyx, but the push is coming sooner.
BKB is close on a few, but not there yet. Fada trying to slow things down as EG move in. They get some free bonus damage on Arteezy, and with the Ags, this tower, not long will it last. Arteezy and Sumail working on it, NP just farming. But I don't know how much longer he can afford to farm. Do NP consider giving up a lane of Rax? That would be a lot this early. Late in the game, sure, Rax is not a big deal, but at this stage, EG would have a substantial map control edge. The tower not down yet, though. They spam it out decently. Spam is a bit light for NP, though. Next time around, this tower's down, and Rax will begin to take a heavy beating.
So hard to engage. You haven't got a Batrider Blink Dagger. You've also...
You're not running in with Nyx. Like, they're definitely going to have detection, or so you would expect.
You've got this tanky frontliner Razor with an Aegis who has Sunray to heal him up, and both Razor and Puck do pretty good right-click damage at this point.
Tombstone deployed on the high ground, and EG make their move. On Fada they go, stealing damage. Arteezy pulling the ult down, getting ready for round 2. And he's going to lash this building down rather rapidly, and every time the goo comes in, Fada simply can't move. The Razor proving ultimate nemesis, public enemy #1 really for Fada. Pops the blade mail, but Arteezy not cooperating, won't be hitting him during this time. Keeps the Solar Crest on him.
Luna has a BKB now. That's perhaps what they were waiting for before engaging.
How do they initiate? Do they just bait them in? Do they actually try to charge in with a hero and use an ult to start this fight?
They're trying to just stall time, have Bristle on the front lines, and try and just buy time for this Aegis to expire, because otherwise they may just have to let it go. Razor's ulti has come back up, though. You've got to imagine that he's just going to stick the high ground at this point.
1.5 minutes on that Aegis.
Unfortunately for NP, like, they're level 17 on Luna, which means no level 3 Eclipse. No blink on the Nyx. He's just short by a couple hundred, but they're going to smoke and try and catch him from behind.
Here comes the wraparound as Arteezy gets baited in, perhaps a bit too far. NP, look for the jump. MSS out in front. Can he get a key silence up here? He doesn't manage to do it, and it's Uni with the chrono, finding everyone. Two are going to drop him instantly. NP does come from behind. Pi there to assist. Got the Eclipse off and found only the Undying. They've got to buy back and look for a lot more now. EG chasing while they can. The BKB's committed. Big damage on the Universe. They can muscle him down. He will fall. NP hanging on and looking for the Phoenix 2. Will they get crit? Yes, sirree! NP find a lot out of this fight, though. They did have to commit to big buybacks. They might lose the Bristle. This could be real problematic with Fada dropping the Blade Mail. Committed and down he goes.
They lost the racks too, LD. Razor stuck it and made sure that NP, even if they do okay in the team fight, will pay dearly with their base.
And the gold change pretty substantial after that fight because of the buyback on the Night Stalker and deaths on all cores except for Aesop.
Did have to use his 10-second BKB, so life will get more and more difficult. You do have a Luna and a Maelstrom Night Stalker, almost as if
it's like
you're preparing for this.
God, it's like you said, they need a blink on one of these initiators.
Yeah.
Night Stalker is running in and trying to silence either a Void or a Phoenix when they have vision. That is not a reliable way to start a team fight, and now blink number 1 is online, perhaps in time.
I mean, made it clear, definitely not a fan of the Batrider without a blink. I think this hero just does not function without it. You can go the drums first, that's very commonplace and kind of gets you like a nice early game fighting item, but you need that blink come mid game. You need that blink for a high ground defense, one of the best times to have when defending high ground as a Batrider.
Or if he's not going to have it, then at the very least you need one on Aoi, but they've just been starved on this Nyx for farm.
We'll have a BKB though, so this enables him to perhaps just run right in and grab someone, but there's still a Chronosphere. You pop a BKB to run in, you might just get Chrono.
Sumail might get punished here. The Mana Burn, my God, that hurts. Phase Shift might allow him to disengage. The BKB committed by Pi, and he's going to start to prep. Firefly's there. Sumail phase shifting again and trying to buy his time. He blinks at the trees. MSS on the chase. No chance. There is no escape. Well, MSS will bring him down. Not sure about that BKB, but
from the back, yeah.
He's like, hey guys, I have items now. Check me out.
Just wanted to make sure, I guess he didn't get silenced. It could try and get a coil on, ulti off on the puck, but they didn't need it. They were always going to be able to chase him wherever he orbed, and well played by NP to get that big kill. You can see on the gold, they're keeping neck and neck with EG for the most part. Losing a Rax and still only being 3,000 gold behind is a very small deficit for NP. Luna going for an Aghanims potentially. Envy has queued it up for now.
Oh, it's been on.
No, he changed his mind. Okay. I got excited for a little bit there.
I mean, if anyone would get something like that, it would be Envy.
One of those items which, when you get it, demolishes team fights, but then your opposing team's like, oh, we better get some BKBs, and then it no longer does a whole lot. So, we'll see. He's not bought anything just yet. Could go back, may reevaluate.
With the way the game is developing, it's the gold per minute that Crit looks for. By now with the Midas and EG. Is this the time where you say, we're not ending this game early, let's go back to farming and take it late? Or do you still try again?
They want to keep using these chronos, finding kills at least. They know probably by now that, oh, NP's getting all these BKBs, they're farming pretty fast. Like, we didn't dominate the early game as hard as we thought, so I think they're going to feel like,
uh-oh. MSS forced to commit the darkness here. Arteezy flashing in and stealing an insane amount. Yeah, give me that rapier.
Invisibility.
Yeah, so I think EG will be all about just, continuing to look for these pickoffs using the Void Chrono, the Puck Coil. Puck's got a gem now and a boost to travel, so he can kind of move anywhere on the map very quickly. And is no longer as afraid of the initiation. Actually, as a Lincoln too, this Puck is filthy rich.
I mean, it's going to be hard to contest NP and Vision, right? You really need that gem because they have Night Stalker, Batrider, and Nyx Assassin. That is like the ultimate map control item. Almost too much map control in theory, but with a gem, perhaps you can limit what NP are able to do.
The good news for EG is all three of their cores all go very well late game. Puck will hit that 25 Talon and get by whatever item he wants at that point. Razor will scale, as will the Void. Void is one of the best scaling offlaners in the game, and that is definitely something where they're maybe not all too concerned about this game dragging out.
Yeah, Universe not really going for the hard carry Void. It seems Ags is the choice to grab the Ogre Club, so, you know, could still go back for a BKB, perhaps, if he feels he needs one. Oh no, we've seen this movie before, gods. BKB not going to save you now. His universe was ready, could have chronoed that, so Highlight Eye at least saving the charge. It is face created, the team's able to farm elsewhere to some extent, and the lanes are still getting shoved in, but at the same time, EG are happy to collect gold.
Yeah, there's definitely some credit to Highlight Eye for the gold difference being as small as it is, with how aggressive he's willing to farm to maintain his own item progression while creating room for Envy to farm. A lot of Envy's catch-up has been as a result of Highlight Eye's quote-unquote feeding, but there is a point where 9 deaths is still a lot, so we'll see if it's something that will cost NP dearly. And that's a Batrider who's dead, but does not look like EG can find an easy initiation here.
I mean, given the way the fights have gone, I don't think they're looking at the Batrider as the key decider, to be fair, so EG will play it slow. They'll back off to the river. And NP holds the ground. It's a Hurricane Pike for Envy. Would love to keep his distance from the Razor, if possible. Potentially the Void. Good utility item for him.
I think EG maybe just going to be eyeing off next Roshan, which is not all too far away.
Looks like this could have been a very short game. But NP have had a plan, and they have stabilized.
Absolutely. I mean, even down a Rax, they've got multiple heroes. All three of their cores deal with it fine. Their support Batrider can push out a lane quite easily, so not afraid to go too late and lose a lane or two a Rax. Similar to what we saw last game from EG. Down lanes are Rax, but they could still quite easily push those ones out.
I haven't seen a Razor get this much farm since Fada was maining the hero.
Yeah, he's tanky as well. Gets the 400 HP, has a Shiver's Guard, has a BKB now. That's going to be like 2.6, 2.7k HP.
Please don't let Razor win.
A lot of armor.
Can't bear for Slacks to be right. He's insufferable enough. But EG move into the pit now, and NP seem like they want to contest a dueling pair of scans.
Look at this line draw.
Both coming up empty.
They really want a hard flank.
Oh, the scan wears off and EG back away. This is the ultra flank, dirtying out the complexity TI2 era backstab.
Did they see EG smoke? They were right under a ward, so I think they 100% know what's going on here.
This Crit's in position where he should probably get an Icarus dive away if he's quick on the trigger. Also has a Force Staff, so he's got some great retreat opportunities as EG. It's their turn to assume high ground, and they see Fada. Initiating Bristleback has been a double-edged sword in many of these fights, and Fada, oh, hey guys, how you doing? MSS now charging in, the goo coming out from Puck is going to phase shift as they begin to steal Fada's damage. That's the ideal scenario. Clip straight down. BKB though from Arteezy. Envy's not finding a whole lot. He needs to kill someone off. He hasn't found anyone with the Eclipse. The BKB's committed. Now Fada's in all kinds of trouble. Finds himself hounded by the majority of EG forces. There's still an egg ready if Crit even needs to use it. A scrambled retreat from NP, but with the way that fight backfired.
Oh, they're trying to catch with the Puck.
They are going to be able to take Roche, I believe. They still have the Chrono and the Egg.
Yep. Held their ultis. Meanwhile, NP used their ultis and some of their BKBs. Chrono catches MSS.
They have the follow-up here. Nightstalker getting locked down. That's a big pick. NP lose one. Finally a death. The 10 heroes enter the pit, but now NP need heroics of their own. Who can provide them? It's a Blink on Aoi. Does he dare risk it? Summon your inner Sumail, my friend, but a bit harder as a Nyx Gods than as a Storm, and not gonna go for it.
Probably wise.
But also does not have a press the attack to give him that extra bit of regen either.
Good news for MP is they didn't lose more there. Fata with a haste room was crucial to find that to get away from both the initial static link, only letting maybe 80-ish damage be stolen, and then also getting away from the follow-up onslaught from EG. But defending high ground gets challenging against this Aegis and Cheese. Universe's Void will claim the Cheese.
And they have a great building hitter here with how farmed and tanky Arteezy is, and that second life he's going to confidently post up. So one lane of Rax advantage for EG. Suddenly entering the late game at 38 minutes. It's a mild cold lead, but it feels like strategically they are in the driver's seat here. Trying to close NP out and advance to face Newbie in the grand finals here at the Manila Masters. $250,000 at stake. And potentially big implications.
It feels hard to deal with this Razor because they've only got one Force Staff against the static link, and that's on Envy's Luna, and he wants to save that force from the Hurricane Pike for himself, typically. So not easy to use this against Razor's Static Link, and if he gets a good Static Link off in the front lines, goodbye building. So Bristleback really kind of struggles to just stand in the front lines. If he goes up there to try and do Bristleback things, he just feeds Arteezy damage. That's not what MP want to have happen.
Upon a loyal warrior.
When do they push in? EG, they are going to head to the far east and then push in. Arteezy's out in front. Plenty of time to go on this Aegis. Dropping the Tombstone. Good positioning here. Sumail a bit farther forward. Always got to be wary of when that puck wants to commit. Behind him lurks the Void, and you've got the threat of the Egg. Chrono combo marking the time of the glyph here. EG, soldier on. Highlight die sweeping in from behind the Glaive. Slowly bouncing. From high. Oh, he's trapped again. Chrono's there. Instantly deleted from the fight. Now Envy tries to avenge his fallen comrade. Eclipse into a full creep wave. Not ideal, but they do decent damage. They need a little bit more. MSS onto the high ground. Aegis now popped. Vada has done it once. Can they do it again? There's no Chrono. There is, however, an Egg. And Crit's gonna let the world know. Drops the fireball from above, and NP have to back off. That means the tower down. Can they re-engage with no Eclipse, with no BKB? They're gonna try. That Phoenix drops fast. Almost
Gets out.
off, but he makes it away. Great force to freedom, and Arteezy trying to steal Envy's damage, forcing his old friend back. Now they turn for the range Drax.
Should be able to get
Kill it off.
that.
They will get it. Do they get more? No buyback with that. No buyback with Night Stalker out for 15 and 45 respectively. EG closing in. Make it 2 lanes of Rax. Make it a 14,000 gold lead. And I think we can officially put NP on the respirator now. They need a miracle.
They do not want to chase Chrono's back up universe.
Oh, the Eggs, NP! Not like this. There's a decent stun from Maui. He combines with the Caravan. They chase Envy out. They keep him going. The lasso, perhaps to the rescue. BKB committed. Fada now. He's the one on an island. Gets coiled. Gets punished. Goes down. NP. They need a pulse, Scots. They really do.
Runs fairly low on the EG side, which means NP will at least be given time to reset, wait for Bristol to come back up. Arteezy too low to try and force another fight with his Eye of the Storm, but what they can do, fall back, lift, go again. Axe Chrono means we've got such low downtime on this EG drop. The 60-second cooldown there. The Eye of the Storm has a very short cooldown as well. And that is a big problem. 30 seconds of downtime on Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, that old Razor Void combo that we used to see. What was that, TI4 era?
Yeah, TI4 era.
It's been a while.
Everyone's favorite TI.
I'm feeling old now. No, who am I kidding? I am old. NP really needs something. He's out pretty far, though. Has to be careful.
They're going to force the issue. It looks like they swapped the cheese to Arteezy, making up for the lack of an Aegis this time around. It'll be a tiny little window with no bristle, not something EG can really capitalize on.
You need them twice, so and EG know the glyph is currently not available, so the tower gets shredded in short order. Arteezy closing in. Last hurrah for NP. Muster your courage, man. You need the ultimate initiation, and it doesn't start right. The missed opportunity from AUI jumping in. Eclipse raining down, but not doing a whole lot. Envy getting lashed by Arteezy, repeatedly slaying his friend out for 85. And EG, the hits just keep on rolling. On to Mojo, he's out. Fada now in trouble. Roasted as well. Chrono there too. Icing on the cake, and EG have done it. They advance, and they have a rematch versus Newbie.
A chance for revenge.